Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're across this great wide world of ours. I'm going to talk a little bit today on choices in life, and I've talked about this previously on my channel here about it. And the goal when we talk about choices is when we make that choice, whether that choice is a positive or negative in life, is that we have to deal with that choice. Case in point, say if you're a smoker and you continue to smoke, you make that choice. Now the side effects is, could be cancer, could be uh, health issues, etc. So could be constant cough, etc. So, but that's the choices we make, and when we talk about choices, the choices. And I was talking to somebody yesterday about this. When I was talking about this, one of my clients is that choices are subjective. What might be a good choice for somebody may be a negative choice for somebody else. A case of poison here again, when I talk about this, is say that I'm not going to date anybody anymore, but you're married, or I'm going to date somebody and you're married. So that's a choice. Now, in a case like if you're married and you start dating, then you have to live with those consequences or that choice you make. And what I'm seeing, and a lot of this has to do with, I don't know if it's, I think some of it has to do post COVID too as well, is that we make these choices and we have to live with those choices. Case in point again, I've been paying off buying some advertising, and I decided to today, when I was looking up my budget, that I'm going to cease this for a few weeks until I get some more revenue in, and then also debate or discern whether I should work full time for a couple of months and see what happens in the fall with teaching opportunities, or et cetera. So, case in point here is, do we or do I make that choice and then live with that choice? So, when we're talking about a choice, we have to live with that consequence. And like I was just talking about, a lot of people will say, I made that choice, but it's really that person's fault. I was forced to make that decision, and it's really not, not that person's decision to make that. That decision becomes, you're empowered to make that decision yourself when we're talking about making a choice. So the point I'm trying to make this with the positive vibes is that once we make that choice, and what I personally do is I look and give that choice a week or two and say, is this choice working? What do I need to do to make changes? Like I said a few minutes ago, I was working on, doing advertising for my team building psychology, hypnotherapy business, and then I realized I've got to get ahead of some other things. So I'm going to cease to do that. And I also have the YouTube pages. So technically, I got two YouTube pages: the hypnotherapy business, and then, like I said, the self-esteem motivation business going on at the same time, and then also working at the time. And the goal here is that, like for instance, the I haven't had as many clients the last 2 weeks, and the factor can be into that is that we're into the summer. We're also into, I don't know, it could be the area or whatever. So I have to discern some more into that, is if I'm conducive in the right area for this, or is this area saturated and I need to find another area that's not so saturated, and then move from there. The other choice that I have too is I have my writings to do, and I need to get back on my next book. And then I have an editor that I work with, and that I gotta work on that as well. So the issue becomes making those choices and moving forward. No, excuse me. Like I said, when we make those choices, we have to live with that choice and then make a decision on moving forward with that. So, like I said, and I'm sorry about the drinking, but I keep my throat as dry as possible. So, the goal here is once you make that choice, you, in my case, like I said, I was looking at the ads and doing online advertising, and I don't know. I'm not, what I'm feeling, for instance, is I'm not getting the best value for my dollars. And the part of that goes to the ROI, or return on investment. And I don't see that as getting the best results that I want. So then I have to decide what I need to do to move that decision forward in life so that I can move the things well into the decision. Sorry, I got distracted here a minute. But the goal is to always to move forward with those decisions. And what happens is a lot of people get what I call stuck in their decisions, and then they make one decision and that decision doesn't work. And they make another decision and that doesn't work. And they make another decision, and it just feels like they spiral out of control. And part of it is we're used to this instant gratification, in that sometimes you don't have to necessarily make a hasty decision, but what I call is an educated decision, or is it a decision that is not, too hasty or emotionally based. For instance, like I said, getting back to what I was talking about with the online ads, I've been debating this for 3 or 4 weeks because I tried Yelp, I did Google, and I did some others, and also for the YouTube channels. And I just don't feel that I'm getting the best results that I'd like to get. So I have to make those changes. Now, does that mean I'm making a hasty decision? No, but it means that I need to figure out where I need to be on these decisions and move this forward, because really, technically, I can't afford $600, $700 media, advertising bill a month to get the results that I'm wanting to get. So I have to adjust that. Or if I am going to that route, then I need to look at getting a better job so then I can invest into that. So that's the point that I always address, is where do I see this all going? And it's the decisions that I make. But then you have to have a positive framework on this and be open-minded about this as well, because if you go in there and say, well, this isn't working, I got to try something else, and then you got a negative mindset about it, it's definitely not going to work. What you do is you just try to keep a positive mindset about it, and then move forward with it, and then try to put a grasp on what you're doing, and then moving forward. And like I said, a lot of times in this, as a society, we will make a hasty decision and not move things in the right direction. But there again, all these decisions on choices are subjective. In other words, what I might think is important is not necessarily important for somebody else. So what we're doing when we talk about on my channel, Positive Vibes, is what we're trying to do is make a change that can impact the most in your life, but also a decision that will bring about the best results that you're trying to get. So, for instance, the other thing I did is I didn't like the darkness that I created, so I structure things in my office to where I would get more light. So that's the other issue too, is that you just try different things, and certain things work and certain things don't. And it also goes back to what I've said before about things, is that you have to always think about reflecting, deciding where you want to go, and then figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and getting the audience. It's the point that I talked to somebody yesterday, and they said, well, why don't you just stop doing it? And it's like, no, that's not the purpose, because my event on this is to inform and educate people, and also to get the message out. So, and then with the two channels, and right now the imperative, when I look at this, I spend a lot more on the reservation channel, which I really want to, because I'm compassionate about that, my compassion, and I have the knowledge and the ability on that compared to the channel I got with Positive Vibes. Not saying I don't. It's just that I do have the information and availability on that channel as well. Anyway, these are some food for thoughts, and nothing really when we're talking about a choice is whether something is a right choice or a bad choice. It's just something that's very subjective, but you have to own up to that decision and make the decision right. For instance, there's a couple people that, even though I didn't like the way the things are going with the channel, I need to be upfront and get the people that I owe money on, to get that money to them, and then move forward with that, because I did make a commitment to that. And you got to follow through on your commitments. When you don't follow through your commitments, I always say you go down that slippery slope. And I don't want to be like that. That's never been the case of me. My words mean a lot to me. So that's the point I want to make. Anyway, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, feel free to look at my books that are online. I just published a book last year about water quality on the reservation. Feel free to come and go from there. Anyway, hope to talk to you soon, and have a great day. Bye.